Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the FRR Review. I am joined here by our lovely guests, Team 3928, Team Neutrino. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
So if you don't mind, I would like to start off with my first question. So you have won Engineering Inspiration Award for many times now. How did you succeed and what is your secret?
Um, so we, as the pit rep, so the pit reps go for this, and we on Team Neutrino, we do a lot with outreach to the middle school, and so we put a lot of emphasis on the teams that we mentor, and what we really like to strive for with our mentoring is a really connection with our with the students in the teams, and because like we go to their we go to every single one of their meetings, we attend their competitions, we go through their whole process with them, and we help them in ways that would enhance their experience in first and overall a better experience through.
Yeah, I think what Ian said is basically the gist of it is we've done so much outreach in our community and especially with our mentoring programs. I think those are so important to what we do. And every year we're striving to improve. And since EI focuses on what you've done in the past year or so, I think the judges see that and they're always really impressed with what we've done just that last year to improve all of our outreach.
Yeah, so just to add on to what Rita was saying, when we were in the pits and like showing them kind of all that we've done with mentoring, what we had a lot of was documentation. So we had these binders full of curriculum, what we actually taught them through our mentoring program, but also like general outreach documentation. And because we document things so well, whenever we handed the big binder with all that curriculum and all those notes to them, they were always really impressed by it. So I think that's very helpful for teams because you want the judges to know that what you did was actually done. And that's just one way of conveying how much you did in quantity, but also the quality of what you did.
Definitely. So speaking of mentors, so the whole student-mentor continuity, let's say, uh, it's a wonderful idea. So what are the pros and cons of this, set method?
Well, obviously we're doing it with younger kids who are below the age of being on Team Neutrino, but what we do with it is it's kind of the stepping stones to get into Team Neutrino or our FTC team, Team Photon. But it's really to put in, like, instill like an excitement or joy into STEM and FIRST, and obviously like we have to have people doing that, and it takes resources away from other parts of the team, but it's a very, very important aspect to sustainability on the team. And if we didn't have it, we would, like, most of our team members, I think it was 28 out of our 34 or something, had been in our FLL or FL junior teams before
Wow.
joining.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that all FLL mentors on our team or kids who are mentored by Team Neutrino always say is that they always had so much fun with their mentors is because the kids and the mentors really bond, and it's really fun for the kids to have like cool high schoolers to look up to, and it's fun for the mentors to go and work with all these kids who are just excited to learn. And then the kids later on are excited to join Team Neutrino, like Ian said, so that's a big part of our sustainability. Overall, it's just a great system. I'd say the only con is sometimes it's hard to get people to start mentoring because it's such a big time commitment. And if they weren't an FLL, then they're not as like motivated to. But once you try it at least once, I think people start to see how fun it is and they'll really get excited to do it.
Right. So again, it's another classic question. So could you describe your team? Like, what are the Like when someone says a word to me, like what is the word that I should go like, yeah, that's Team Neutrino.
I think we have a lot of growth and coordination. There's a lot of communication just between each other, trying to get stuff done, and yeah, we have a lot of growth between just being a freshman into a senior as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny you asked this question because we had it in our chairman's one time, and it stumped a lot of people because it's kind of hard to grasp an entire team or everything that we stand for in one word. But I think it depends and varies from person to person. But for me, it was that we're, this is technically 2 words, but constantly innovating and like inspiring. So that's something that really I value on Team Neutrino, and obviously it's not the only thing that we stand for, but that's just kind of one perspective.
Right.
I'd like to also bring up our mission statement for this question. So last year, we spent a lot of time figuring out like our core values and our mission statement and our vision statement, and I think it's really helped us figure out what we are as a team and what direction we want to go as a team, and that I think that really helps with incoming freshmen or people who are new to the team figuring out who we are and what we stand for and what we're here to do. So our mission statement is, Team Neutrino's mission is to develop ourselves as leaders, engineers, and community partners, working every day to achieve more with our robots, in our community, and from ourselves than we did the day before. And I think that really well encapsulates our team.
Definitely.
No, I was just going to wrap it up and say if I had to pick a word, it would easily just be family. Everyone on this team has become like family to me, and I don't know what I'd do without them. I'd say that they're the only thing keeping me sane in quarantine these days.
Yeah, it's an important value. So, but to take the conversation back a bit, you spoke about the Chairman's Award, and you did win the Chairman's Award. And as a person who did our team's, a friend of mine, did our team's Chairman Award presentation, what advice would you like to give?
So none of us were actually on the team when we won Chairman's because that was back in 2017, and all of us are either going to be juniors or going to be sophomores next year.
Right.
But the one thing I would say is kind of the thing that won us Chairman's is probably what keeps winning us EI is our dedication to mentoring and outreach and our constant striving for growth in those areas. Leslie talked about documentation, and that's so important these days because especially since the documentation form, I think part of what helped us in Chairman's this year was bringing like 6 binders of documentation into the judges room and being like, here's all the proof that we've done outreach since 2012. That's really impressive to judges. And beyond that, I think knowing what outreach and things your team is passionate about and finding what works for you is really important. So our team has found that we really like working with little kids, and we also found that we like making videos. So it's helped us to produce a video series for kids about STEAM activities. Or we found that since we like working with kids, we'll go to events like the Science Center of Iowa's STEM fairs, and we'll talk to kids and hold a booth and just interact with our community. And so finding what your team is passionate about helps you not only improve your current outreach, but find new outreach opportunities.
Yeah. So again, now taking the bit back, besides, how did you stay productive throughout this, rough times, especially when we were all, stuck at home?
Yeah, so we've been making videos for little kids. There's STEAM activities. We call it Stay at Home STEAM, and we also have a buddy system within our team, so no one feels lonely during this time. And we've been doing online camps, training camps to prepare us for the next season.
I'd like to expand on that by saying that the buddy groups are also a really good way to get new members integrated, because we have our groups specifically with older members and new members in mind, so everyone can get to know each other. And we have like semi-weekly fun activities for us to do together and then interact with other groups. So it's been a really interesting experience kind of having a pre-made friend group online, but it is pretty cool and it's been pretty fun. Our activities are always interesting. And then the online camps have been going really good as well. We've had very impressive turnouts for the camps that I've been to, and people really seem interested in learning and keeping busy during quarantine.
Wow, that's quite rare actually. So again, speaking of team members, most when we look at your Instagram, you do posts about your team members. Like, how did that come to mind?
So I think for our social media, we really try to post about like the team as a whole or like specific groups within our team. So we'll either do like bus photos and thanking our sponsors like CIT or John Deere for giving us things. CIT sponsors us with the bus, and then John Deere sponsors us with a monetary donation and also safety glasses. So we like to thank them each year. And we also like to do groups of people on the team, like our scouters or our drive team, to show like, hey, here's what our team is doing and here's how it's so cool and so much fun. And I think it's social media is really a good way to show your sponsors what you're doing and also to show your friends and family what you're doing and how much fun you're having at competition or just on the team in general. So I like social media.
So that's all the questions that I have currently. So if you guys generally would like to add anything, related to FRC or not, feel free. This is your time to shine.
I kind of want to talk about Stay at Home STEAM again because it's a really cool video series and almost half of the videos on our YouTube are from Stay at Home STEAM. So our outreach sub-team came up with this idea to create short, like 3-minute videos of a simple science, engineering, math, or art activity that you could do at home. And we had multiple team members record them, and we were posting them 3 times a week, and one person was editing them all. And it was a really busy time, but it was really fun for everyone involved, and the results are really cool to look at, to just see all of the videos that we managed to produce in like a month and a half. And I think we're kind of planning on keeping it going a little bit. We really like the idea, and so we want to at least try to continue it in the future. And we also did a finale video for when we were done with all of our ideas for now, and that's a really cool video. It's a Rube Goldberg machine spread across multiple people's different houses, but edited together to make it look like it was one machine, because we're in quarantine and can't really build one giant machine. And I really like the ending on that. I think it's got some really cool cinematography, and our editor really did a great job on all of these videos.
Yeah, our editor absolutely destroyed it. We made like 27 videos in a month or so, and he was editing every single one, so major props to him. But yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned Stay at Home STEAM. I love that series. It's just so creative. All the videos are so fun to watch. The team members did a really good job like researching and explaining the science behind each of their projects. And generally, if you're bored in quarantine, like doing one of those activities is a great way to fill some time.
I'd also
Yeah.
like to mention that our editor is a team member, so
For sure.
outside of someone for this, we just have someone who's
Just to
really
Lucky
clarify.
you
good at
guys.
editing.
I
And-
actually want to mention, because of the stay-at-home STEAM videos, we also got some attention from an FTC conference, which I know Rita knows a lot more about it than I do.
Oh, have I talked about that? Yeah, we've been invited to speak at this FTC Coaches Conference that's being held online and now kind of nationally, which is really, really cool. So currently we're developing another video for that that's going to talk about all of our outreach and focusing on sort of what we've been doing in the pandemic and also looking at how to improve a team's outreach and whatnot. It's going to be a really cool video to produce and a fun segment. So I'm looking forward to working more on that.
I'd also like to mention that we did a lot of promotion for Stay at Home STEAM on our social medias. So we have 3 social medias. We have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And so every time we released a video, we would make a post saying, go watch it now. And I think we got a lot of attention from like other teams from that. Maybe not a lot of attention, but more than we were used to, of just people like retweeting our posts and being interested. And I hope that helped us get more views on our videos and maybe get noticed by this conference. But social media it's a really good way to improve your outreach, I think. I think it adds on to it a lot because you can tell other people what you're doing and reach to a way wider audience than just your community. And so I think it's really great for that reason.
Well, I would like to thank you guys again for joining me. Again, amazing projects. I mean, it's been a while since I've heard like a group this active. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, wash your hands, and take care.